Well, as everyone knows, the Democrat Party in the last couple of years, they have been really embracing the more radical wing of their party. You think I'm exaggerating, but look at what happened in Colorado not even a month ago, where even progressives got primaried out because they weren't far left enough. Same thing happened in New York. We are seeing the Democrat Party every single day embracing the more extreme radical wing of their party. Yet, for some reason, for a lot of people, that's not enough. In fact, there are still major issues to this day that divide the Democrat Party. You can't make this up. They agree on like 95% of things. Every Democrat in the House votes in line 95% of the time. Republicans, meanwhile, you have dozens of people in the House that vote against the party on a bunch of garbage issues. It's stupid. But for Democrats, that's not enough. Their base has become so extreme that 5% that some Democrats may disagree on is too far. They got to get primaried out. And the number one issue that proves this point is the issue of Israel. Yeah, we're still talking about it. And what's crazy about it is to this day, this is the number one divide in the Democrat Party. The issue of Israel, not immigration, not the economy. No, this one single issue divides the entire Democrat Party. Yes, it is a growing problem on the right. There's a lot of divide in the GOP over this issue, but that's really a generational difference. Like older Republicans, they're still like 95% pro Israel. Younger Republicans, not so much. But the reality is, the average Republican still leans to being pro Israel. Democrats, meanwhile, it is a shit show and a half. Like, yeah, the pro Israel Democrats, they're not as pro Israel as the Republicans are. But for a lot of people in the Democrat base, that's not enough. This is like the sin of the Democrats now. If you are even slightly pro Israel, if you're not vehemently anti-Israel on every single vote, doesn't matter what it is, that is like a sin for a lot of Democrat voters. And they're going to do everything they can to try to force you out. You think I'm exaggerating? Look at just this year. Look at all these primaries in Colorado and New York. These nutcases on the issues, they won these primaries against even progressives because these progressives, even some of them were kind of pro-Israel to a certain point. Not really, though. But for them, that's not enough. You have to be 100% on board with what they're saying. If you're even off by 0.01% on any issue, especially this issue right here, well, you're awful. You must be primaried out. And a lot of voters, they actually agree with that nonsense. Like in Colorado, like in New York, even parts of California. Like this is widespread. This is not just a one-off occurrence in one primary in one state. It's like 4 Democrats lost in New York and Colorado. It's crazy what's going on here. But now, we're now seeing the same divide play out between top House Democrats. You think I'm exaggerating? Look at this right here. House Democrats' eternal split over vote to cut off U.S. aid to Israel has extended to leadership, with Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries and Minority Whip Catherine Clark planning to vote differently. Such a divergence between the caucus's top 2 leaders is rare and underscores just how much anxiety this vote is giving some in the party. And it is, because you don't usually see leadership split on anything. They tend to agree on everything publicly. If they do disagree, they tend to work it out behind the scenes. Very rarely do we see a split like this on anything. But this is a little bit different with how divided the party is on this issue. We're beginning to see the cracks even among those in leadership, and that's not good. Because if this is happening between Jeffries and Clark, what do you think's going on with the rest of the conference? It is an utter shit show. And it's getting so bad that even a lot of House Democrats that don't like the plan, they're basically forced to vote yes on it. Because you have this growing pressure from the nutcases in their party. That is not good. You have Democrats in the House. They don't want to vote for this, but they know if they don't vote for it, they're fucked. Come 2028 or even as soon as this year, there are a couple primaries still to go. They could lose their primaries. That is a huge issue for Dems, for Democrats in the House. They have to be perfect on everything. Colorado proved it. You can be in line on 99.9% of the issues, and these radicals would still go after you because that 0.1%, that's not enough. You got to be 100% aligned with us. And even then, that may not even be enough. You have to be with us on every single thing. Doesn't matter. No questions asked. If you do ask questions, you're gone. There are going to be people within our own party trying to drag us over the coals. One House Democrat told Axios, it's just crazy that there's one issue. We're not talking about like abortion or healthcare or anything like that. This is aid to Israel, which I know it is a hotly debated topic. I get that. People are sick of the lobby. Those are good points. But think about that. Not abortion, not healthcare, not immigration, all these issues. These people have given everything to these radicals. But there's one issue that they disagree on just slightly, might be enough to take a lot of them out come 28. Clark sent a statement Wednesday morning that she'll vote for an amendment to a State Department funding bill proposed by Thomas Massie to block any of the money from going to Israel. It is clear that the status quo is not tenable. We should not provide a blank check for military aid to any country that does not comply with the U.S. law, interests, and values, the number 2 House Democrat said. Clark said she'll be voting yes, not because I agree with the entirety of the amendment or the GOP's cynical motivations for its consideration, but because I believe we must change course. AKA, the base is going to kill me politically if I vote no. And she's terrified of it. That's what these Democrats are realizing. They have to be in line on everything. But here's the thing, like we mentioned earlier, not every top Democrat agrees. In fact, the top person in the House right now, Hakeem Jeffries, said Tuesday he planned to vote against the amendment, but that his team would not be whipping it and the members were free to vote their conscience. So he's saying he's not going to support it, but the conference, vote however you want to. I give up. Man, that sounds like a very decisive leader, doesn't it? I'm against it. I'm the minority leader. I'm in charge here. But no, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to do my job. Really? You're not even going to try? Because even he realizes if he tries to whip people against it, well, good luck. Already voting against it, that alone might cause a progressive challenger in 28. That's crazy, I know. But at this point, him doing this is enough for the radical wing to go after him. I just can't believe that we're actually having this big of a divide for Democrats. And apparently, according to Axios, the vote could split the 212-member caucus squarely down the middle, with estimates ranging from 100 to 150 votes in favor of the amendment. That's unusual. Usually Democrats, they're in line in everything. But this one issue is dividing the Democrat Party more than anything else. Yeah. This is a big deal. I don't think people understand how big of a deal this is. We don't usually see this ever happen. Like, usually we see Democrats vote a line on everything. Outside a select few, they may vote no or against the Democrats on one or two issues. But in large part, you see Democrats in line on everything. And even just a couple years ago, you probably would have seen like 90% of Democrats vote against the amendment. But now it's split 50-50. Because, yeah, in large part, it's because there's been more radical people elected in the House. They vote against or vote for this stuff all the time. But also a lot of Democrats, they're fearful. They're terrified at what's happening with the grassroots, how insane they're getting, how they are going down this purity spiral that shows no signs of ending. If they vote against them on this one issue, they're fucked, because this is the number one issue for these people. Seriously, what's more important to these people right now? They don't talk about abortion anymore. That's a non-issue for these people now. Healthcare they don't care about now. Seriously, what is the number one issue for a lot of these people? Nonsense like this. Now, here's a thing that I don't think a lot of people are thinking through why this could be a big problem for Dems down the line. I hate to break it to people, but with the Democrats having this big of a divide on this one issue, there is a tiny problem brewing for them that I don't think a lot of people are really factoring in. Everyone knows Democrats are struggling big time with fundraising, like no shit. Look at every single month. It's the same report over and over again. They are still bankrupt. They have no money. They can't raise anything. Yes, some individual candidates like Telrico, they can raise money. But the party as a whole, they're struggling to raise anything. Well, this divide may cause a larger problem than some people expect. Because I don't think people understand this, and this is a little bit outdated. This is from like 2019. But look at this. This is the chart between how much money the pro-Israel lobby gives to Democrats versus Republicans. And look at this. Even before 2020-22, Democrats were nearly doubled in the amount of money they got from these people. Not just individual donors. We're just talking about some of these groups. Some of these individual groups, and they were giving money to the Democrat Party. And ever since 2020, this number has exploded. And reminder that this is only the groups. This does not include people like Michael Bloomberg, you know, one of the biggest funders and supporters of the Democrat Party. Yeah, I think this divide within the Democrat Party over Israel, that's not good, financially speaking. When you think about it for 5 seconds, it's like, wait a second. You look up the biggest donors on the Democrat side, and you realize, oh, wait a second here. This divide is going to probably make things worse, financially speaking. It's going to get way worse come 28. That's my prediction. A lot of these top donors, they are already bailing on backing Democrats, maybe some individual candidates, but the party as a whole, you've noticed recently they've given nothing. The Democrat Party has raised jack shit, especially compared to the GOP. But if Democrats go through with this and they have this huge divide and Hakeem Jeffries gets forced out, which I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there's a chance this issue is such a disaster for the Democrat Party. There's a non-zero chance a lot of these top donors that Democrats need badly, by the way, they need these people. If they lose them, good luck. But at the same time, if you try to win back some of these big donors, you're going to piss off the grassroots even further. You are in a lose-lose situation now. You either have to bend the knee for the big donors or appease these radicals and get fucked financially and really electorally. You're in a lose-lose situation if the Democrat Party. And it's already bad enough now. Imagine how bad things could get come 28 when these radicals that are winning across the board actually take office and people realize what they're actually doing. This is going to get very interesting. Yes, Republicans have some problems, but again, they don't have as big of a divide on issues like this. It is a growing divide, that's true, but I would argue it's not going to really impact stuff for a while, at least on the financial front, at least electorally, because there's still, the Republican Party is still, relatively speaking, more to the pro-Israel side. But anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.